all, because I've been doing some research, of course, to get ready for the show as always, and found out that the stock market today is more volatile than Bitcoin. So I'm interested in that because, everybody's saying Bitcoin is volatile, and we know it's been trading pretty tightly the last couple of months and not doing too many big moves. But stocks are really, really volatile. And so this is one of those days in history that we tell you all to look at, because it only happens 2 or 3 times in Bitcoin's history. But today is one of those. So you're actually experiencing history. And so the other part of history that you are experiencing today is this gentleman sitting in front of me, King Bless, has done 1,000 episodes along with Bitcoin Zay. He and Zay, gentlemen of crypto, are barking up on today their 1,000 episode of Gentlemen of Crypto. So before we get into that, I want you to just tell us a little bit about who you are. Just give us a little bit of background, because you got an interesting background.
Well, first of all, thanks for the intro. Amazing introduction. But yes, I've figured out how to streamline my background now to keep it like under a minute or whatever.
No, we don't want you to keep it under a minute. We want to know.
All right, top to bottom. Originally, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm statistic, just like every other child from an urban inner city. Moved to North Carolina, went to school there. I graduated college there at North Carolina State, played football, political science, criminology degree. After that, I moved back to Detroit, actually do community type of stuff, grassroots help. And then I joined the military. I ended up doing PR for the military, like public relations and stuff. And it was in the military on my second deployment in 2016. I always been interested in Bitcoin stuff since 2014. I heard the word. Long story short, I was deployed 2014, 2015, and 2016 on and off. So every time I went to go look up Bitcoin or crypto and stuff, criminals and bed, and I'm just like, I'm a military officer. I'm not putting my commission on the line to look up some new homework or whatever. So I put it to the side. 2016, Bitcoin Day throws out like a bat signal on Facebook or something like, I'm done talking to people about Bitcoin. Nobody listens, nobody believes it. I'll call them up. I'm like, hey, you still the same guy from college? He's like, yeah, are you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's talk business. Like, I'm into this. I want to know about it. So he tells me about the white paper, whatever. I dive head first in 2016. We started working together, consulting. And through all these consultations throughout 2016, every time a news story come up, people would be like, oh my God, like, is this Bitcoin going to die? Is this going to fail? Is something wrong with it? It was all these bad news stories. So we started the Gentlemen of Crypto, the podcast and the YouTube, just so those people we were actually working with could just check in for 30 minutes and see that the world's not falling apart. They're invested in, or they're a stakeholder somewhere, everything's safe, and then get that little bit of knowledge. Of course, from there, it took a different turn, as did your journey. Of course, you started a brick and mortar, just being in the community. Now you're on a radio show, you have your own radio show. So same as us, we started the show, people started listening. Next thing you know, of course, Bitcoin Zay has his book. He's doing his media tour. And then myself as well, we get the same calls to do whether it's a radio show or, of course, the Dr. Phil show was a cool experience, and spread that crypto and Bitcoin specific gospel, of course. So
All right. Well, that is a fantastic story. So you said you heard about Bitcoin prior to Zay, right?
Yes.
So how did you hear about Bitcoin prior to Bitcoin Zay telling you about it?
Yeah, so I've always been like a technologist and a gamer. So I was in Detroit. There's this school in Detroit called Detroit Academy of Arts and Sciences. It's downtown. It's a charter school. And when it opened, I was a part of the pilot class. Basically, to go there, they took all these inner city students. Nobody could afford it. They put literally your name in this thing. You go to the lottery. I used my grandfather's address. I was accepted into it. This was like in 96 or 97 or whatever. All right, that's kind of showing my age. But a part of that school, everyone got a free computer. So I got my first computer in like 96, 97. I probably was like, what, third, fourth grade, going to fourth grade at that school. So fourth grade, I had my own computer at home, internet, blah, blah, blah. So I've already been learning all this stuff. Then I've always been in tune with video games and stuff. I have cousins and stuff who are gamers, who know how to fix TVs, video games, create them, all that stuff. So it literally was just like a circle of life. Fast forward years later, and then it's just like I'm right back in front of a computer and stuff. I understand everything I'm looking at. So that's kind of happened when Bitcoin first came out. Only thing I heard was like, it's a new technology, new system, new all this tech stuff. I was just like, I want to see this tech stuff. I want to know what's the technology part about it. And then once I actually read the white paper and started using it, I was like, oh, y'all crazy. To me, it's funny that it's happening so slow, because it's like, you can control your own value and no one can take it from you. I think one of the reasons it's probably happening slow is because the people are ready with enough value. They don't need Bitcoin. The traditional system works well. And then the people without enough value, they don't know how to monetize that value. So to them, it doesn't matter. Why do I care? I get to control all my money. I don't have enough to control. right?
Right.
But if it's someone who has enough to control or do something with them, that starts to matter. So I say Bitcoin is just technology. It's like a calculator. Do you want to do arithmetic and use paper as we're already doing with paper money? Or do you just want to use a calculator and do it all online automatically? That's all Bitcoin is doing. So that's why I like it.
So cool. And you said something that I want to kind of go back and reiterate to all of our listeners and those individuals that are out there. If you had not had access to that computer and to technology at a young age, how different do you think you would be sitting here today? How different would your life be?
Yeah, definitely changed me. Having access to a computer, I mean, I wouldn't be here. I definitely wouldn't be here. I'd be dumb, straight up dumb jock, or who knows what. But I play football, so yeah, I wouldn't be here. Like I said, a lot of stuff, even to today, when I look at things, or I ended up learning how to code a few years ago and all that stuff, so I can get deeper into Bitcoin and crypto, and know what I'm looking at. But even when I was taking those classes on how to code, network security, like there of course are technical nuances that are very difficult. But if you just know your way around a computer, and like it just makes it so much more comfortable. It's like, well, you know where to go to just find this drive or do this or whatever. So fast forward now, even when it comes to Bitcoin and understand, like I was meant to be in this space because a lot of this stuff, even before I could code, again, I'm reading and recognizing things from like, oh, I've been doing this for forever. Like I understand how they did this. Or on the flip side, when someone has some BS out there and they're trying to hit you with all these buzzwords, you like this. Like you can't like technically, how would you build this? This doesn't make sense. So yeah, I mean that made the world a difference. So I'm all about getting computers in the kids' hands. They should be smarter than us. Parents, if your child's smarter than you, they should be. They're not back talking you. They're smarter than you. They should be. I hope the generation after me is way smarter than me, or we have a problem. So I'm all about empowering youth, and I think that's what crypto really does, because now it's like you can't tell a child, well, you can't have a banking account, or you can't do this, or they can do whatever they want on the financial front now, the same as an adult can. So
yes,
the market's open.
The market is wide open. Absolutely. So what makes this crypto market, in your opinion, so interesting to the people that listen to the Gentlemen of Crypto? Is it because y'all just bring the news good?
I think, yeah, you know what? So here's the thing. When we started again, the Gentlemen of Crypto, I was actually looking for, and this is what we always be, even when it comes to our master class and all this stuff, we always tell, if you can find a better one or a competitor, like, cool, tell them to come on this show to tell people. Like, we're not trying to be like, it's our way or the highway, fools. No, it's like when I first started, and the idea from the show, we couldn't find information. The problem in 2014 was that there was no literature. If you didn't know how to code, in 2014, if you know how to code or really knew technology, you weren't getting into this space. It's just one of those things you just don't know. It's just too difficult to understand. And even when we started, Chris Dunn was one of the YouTubers. There was only like a couple YouTubers. And most of them were monotone and super boring and talking from a super technical perspective. When Zay and I first partnered and started having, consultations and stuff, I was like, bro, I'm smart. I know you. And you're losing me. So I know you're going to lose clients. So for him and I, it was just like him breaking it down to layman's terms and me building it up to understand, the technical spots.
Right.
And that's what we introduced in our podcast. It's like, we're not trying to confuse people or trick people, get you lost with technical jargon. We want the average everyday person to just be able to, for 30 minutes, I understand everything that's going on in the crypto space, but I have no clue what these buzzwords mean. Like, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Well, I got to back up and give you an apology because, ladies and gentlemen, they have the longest running crypto show in this entire world, not in the United States, in this entire world. The Gentlemen of Crypto is the longest running show, cryptocurrency show that has been out there. So how does it feel to actually be the pioneer? Like, you did this and you see all of us coming behind you, so we're walking on your back. So we appreciate all the work that you've done to get all of us to this space. So how does it feel to first of all be black and be the pioneer of this podcast space and be running longer than anybody?
Well, I will say shout out to everybody else is doing it, because everybody's doing it in a different way, like radio show. Who would have thought or saw that coming? Crypto on the radio every day. Like even the Clubhouse thing caught me off guard. But no, I'll start with the black thing. So Zay definitely highlights that more than me. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why is because I'm more like, I always consider myself a chameleon. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I got it. Don't worry about it. Let me get to where I need to go first, and I'm done. And in 10 or 15 years, then I'll like Kanye West open the, you know what I'm saying? People, why can't you tell me right now? Why can't you do it right now? And it's like, if I tell you and do everything right now, I won't make it to where I need to go to do this stuff.
Right.
Let me blend in and be cool. So for me, I never highlight it because it's just obvious. Like you see my friend, people know my friends or where I'm from, and like it is what it is. Like this is who I am. Like I love it. So and for me, I grew up in Detroit in the '90s. Detroit in the '90s was like 99% black. So I grew up black mayor, black police, black everything. I didn't even understand like colorism until I moved to the South, where if you speak proper, they're like you talk white, and it's just like, bro, where I'm from, like that's not even a statement.
Right.
Like you get mashed over that statement. Like what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. So it was just like I didn't even understand like the uphill battles a lot of blacks even face until I started getting older. Because I'm just like, I'm from a place where we all black.
Right.
So that's y'all had to figure out this working with everybody. I never had to figure it out until I was a teenager almost.
Right.
Or until I was a teenager really. So it's just one of those things. So when it comes to being the first in different spaces, and I am black, for me, I just hope it's like for others that look like me, just open your eyes and you see it's possible. And then for others who don't look like me, it's like respect that yes, we're capable and you know we deserve to be here as well. I do appreciate, and that's where the balance comes. Zay, he's loud and proud and waving the flag with it, which is good because that's also like, hey, this is one half of us as well. As far as the podcast is never meant to be like the first or longest runner. It just literally was like
it is.
I know it's crazy too when you look at it. It was like there's a need. We're gonna fill this need. And then as we started feeling need, there's many times we wanted to take just now we took like a 6-week break, but like we wanted to take breaks or not do it kind of or whatever. But it was just like when we look around for other information, it's only like between you got CB, Crypto Blood, you got a few other people, but like the most people is like they don't know what they talking about still. Like you can't stop because where else like is nobody know what they talking about
they
still.
Say stuff like mining hasher rates.
Or they say
ratios.
Put 90% of your portfolio into what's the one that just went Celsius.
Celsius,
So it's those type of things. So it's been pretty cool. It's the community that keeps us going on a daily basis because like even now when we've been off, people are like, hey, I'm missing this 10 a.m.-ish fix in the morning. What's going on? So we love to do it.
Okay, well, I have to say, because you mentioned Kanye, but I will say this to you. What I do like about you specifically, and I love Zay too, but what I like about you specifically is that you tell it like it is. I have not heard you sugarcoat too much of anything. And for a lot of us that are in the space, we try to kind of gauge what we say so we don't give and I really don't, even though you just said you're very particular, you want to get to where you need to get to first. Sometimes I don't think that you come off that way.
Are you messing
I think
up?
you don't mess up, you just say the real and you keep it 100. So how has that helped you in this space, just being real about, you call a spade a spade. If you're telling folks to stay away from Terra Luna, which I saw that way back, you were telling people to stay away from Terra Luna, and not accepting, I'm going to say this because they come hand in hand, not accepting sponsorship from companies that you know are not beneficial to your listeners. How has that helped you along the way?
Yeah, so that's definitely been a whole thing too. So you see, that's what I'm saying. You in the space, so you already know. It's funny, this morning actually because we're about to do 1,000 episodes, Zay and I did talk. I was like, all right, for the Monday through Friday 30-minute shows, let's keep it commercial moving forward. Let's try not to trigger people. We're gonna add additional shows for like late night and stuff. And I was like, we can go crazy on those, but for 30 minutes, let's try to be well behaved because of that, the sponsors and all those type of things. So no, it's hard for me not to do again. That's the community part. Actually, I've been working on this my entire life. It is very hard for me not to speak what's on my mind. And in this space, it's important to do because like you can really jack up somebody's like life.
Right.
We always tell people use discretionary income. Some people don't, but it's like they have a whole portfolio on something. As we just saw, people went 90% into Celsius, 90% into Terra Luna, or before it was this, that, and the other. So for me, this is like I'm okay with having issues with people if I own those issues.
Right. I
don't want no issues with people. And I'm like, I'm not even trying to do this to you, man. Like I'm trying to. So that's my whole thing. Is like, again, we started this because about 100 to 200 people we were consulting with were concerned about news stories. So for us, our core actual audience that will support us through thick and thin is about 300 to 500 people, and they'll buy our supporters and make sure we can live and eat every day. So as long as we're being honest to those 300 to 500 people who have our back no matter what, that's important to me. Now, when it does come to sponsors and all that, yep, we do lose it, and they all blah, blah, What we've started to do is sometimes for the bad sponsors, we'll still run them, and we'll even tell our audience before and after we run them, like, hey, y'all don't pay attention to this. This is what we got to do to get this money. But it is what it is because we don't feel bad. They're bad companies.
Right.
But by and large, it's like we don't worry about it. I always tell people if your portfolio is straight, you shouldn't have any worries in this market. Why are you worried about somebody else's portfolio? My portfolio is straight. Zay seems to be okay. So it's like I can do what I want in life as long as I'm not, killing nobody, driving drunk, breaking no major laws.
Selling drugs.
Yeah, I can pretty much do what I want. I ain't done 2 deployments. I got my own bag of crypto. Leave me alone. I'm gonna say what I want. I'm gonna do what I want. If somebody wants to support it, cool. If not, cool. And then again, the thing about speaking your mind, which I found, there's a lot of companies out there who are okay with it. A lot of companies have approached us like, hey, we're a cannabis company. How much you need to sponsor a show? Hey, we're this company. It's just like, well, I wouldn't even seen this coming, So
Right.
they support it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I am super excited to have you in the studio for our Friends and Family Friday. And we're getting to the bottom of the hour, and we're getting ready to do some traffic, some sports, and some news. Ladies and gentlemen, we have King Blessed in the building. He is the half of the Gentleman of Crypto, who has the longest running show in history in the cryptocurrency space, and they are doing their 1000th episode today. I believe it's today. Is it today?
It is tonight at
It's
6
tonight.
p.m. Pacific, and you will be there as well. I can't wait to see you on the show.
Absolutely. I'm going to definitely do that. And so when we come forward after news, traffic, and sports, we will hear more from King Bless, one of the Gentlemen of Crypto. This is Ahead of the Crypto Curve, and I am your host, Naja Roberts, on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, so we got about